Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another political episode. I don't know why it keeps doing that. I gotta figure out what's the problem with that being so slow on the start time. But I wasn't originally going to do a video on this today, but I guess I'm going to I'm gonna have to do it because everyone's doing coverage on it. And it's really not what a lot of people think. A lot of people think, oh, it's just another map to redistrict. We have done a lot of redistricting. We've got a lot of maps. We don't do videos. We haven't done videos. Maybe we should have. But Missouri and North Carolina have done redistricting. We talked about Ohio and how Republicans in Ohio dropped the ball in that state, particularly. But we have to talk about Utah, and mainly because of the precedent that this sets, mainly because there's absolutely something fishy. Now, this looks like a totally different map. They must have customized and updated this map. This map is definitely more favorable to the Democrats than the map that was originally presented right here. And I will say, it's not good because, to be honest, you cannot convince me that this is not a colluded effort by the being used by the courts in Utah. Now, you'll be wondering, oh, well, they're Republican-appointed courts. But let's keep in mind, it doesn't matter if they're Republican-appointed. Okay? These are anti-Trump Republicans. Utah is a very anti-Trump Republican state. And it's important to recognize that you got these Curtis, these Romney, these Cox Republicans. They're very aligned with the establishment, the classical GOP establishment. This is why you've seen terrible primary results, specifically in 2024. You saw John Curtis. He managed to win mainly because of his profile as a U.S. congressman. But you, as a congressman in the United States House of Representatives, you are expected to win by a lot, right? Because you're the experienced candidate. But instead, John Curtis, not only that, but Carlton Bowen managed to run an independent campaign, took 5.74%. Those votes would have went to John Curtis. I'm just exposing how weak the GOP of Utah is. These are votes that relatively should have gone to John Curtis. Let's take a look at the Republican primary. Yeah, not good, because we're talking about a U.S. congressman, and you're seeing John Curtis get 48.73% as a U.S. congressman. Trent Staggs, the last time I checked, let's see, I don't want to make myself look bad by claiming he's a congressman or something like that. No, he's a mayor. He is a mayor. And you have also Jason Walton. You have Brad Wilson, the former Speaker of the House of Representatives of Utah. Yeah, they got over double digits of the vote. Jason Wilson, I haven't heard of him before. He got 6.5%. That's just how bad the GOP is. Like, the GOP, is hated in Utah, but they'll still vote for them, right? They'll still vote for them. Utah is the most GOP-established state, and it's people like Mitt Romney, it's people like John Curtis, it's people like Governor Cox that make this state a cesshole of establishment, just neoconservatism. It is absolutely apparent. And then you get this effort, basically, right when the Republican Party rightfully challenged a map in Texas, which gave illegal aliens numbers, giving seats to Democrats, which involved illegal aliens. The census in Texas involving illegal aliens, which gave Democrats seats. We challenged that. We took 5 seats, but then you have Greasy Gavin getting involved, getting his greasy, drippy nostrils in our faces, saying, oh, well, we have to do it too. But this is more of a presidential advantage. This has nothing to do about running for nothing to do with actually fighting for Democrats. No, he's running for president, folks. And we will be doing a video on him in 2027 when he announces his campaign. That's right. I'm saying this right now. He's running for president. You cannot convince me that he's not running for president. This guy is a clown. You want to go through this much trouble to put a ballot measure on the ballot and campaign across the state? This must be a giant virtue signal for nothing. Or is it something more? I think it's something more. But, of course, it looks like Gavin Newsom's not the only one on the sabotaging spree, because you also have the Utah Republicans appointed judges that aren't really Republicans. They are RINOs. They obviously hate Trump. They are Mitt Romney lovers. They're John Curtis runners. They're Spencer Cox lovers. And as a result, they went and said, oh, well, you guys have to give the Democrats a free district. I'm sorry. Maybe we would be willing to give them Utah one if they hadn't rigged us with District 1 in New Hampshire. Because, believe it or not, New Hampshire is a divided state. Divided state politically. I mean, it's not like it can be divided. I proved it can be divided. It's not that hard. And apparently there has been mentionings of a possible redistricting in New Hampshire, and I support it. Because let's just say it's not fair. We're talking about a state that is relatively I would say even a blue state or a red state. It's a swing state in general. But it votes Democratic in presidential elections, but for governor elections or gubernatorial election, it votes Republican. It's an equally divided state. And even the presidential election results show it all. The state relatively went to Kamala Harris by like 3 points. Below 5 percentage points, and we don't even have one seat. Relatively, by registration, the Republican Party is much more popular. Republican by registration is more popular than the Republican 2024 results. Therefore, for sure, we're getting ripped off in New Hampshire. So I would say to these stupid judges, unless you're bought and sold by Democrats, because I might as well think you are. But I'm not talking about the judges. I'm talking about the RINOs. Because the RINOs, the stupid, idiotic RINOs, led by Spencer Cox, they are bending the knee. And they are not challenging this map, which basically is a partisan collusion made by Utah Democrats and these independent judges, allegedly, to give Democrats an extra seat. Very interesting. I would like to see something like this happen in New Mexico. I would like to see something like this happen in Illinois. I would like to see something like this happen in New Hampshire. I would like to see something like this happen in New Jersey. Where is it in the blue states? But no. It's happening in Utah. A state where Republicans have double digits of support. A solid Republican margin. It's almost 60%, maybe 58% by average. 58% on average. And for some stupid reason, these judges think, oh, well, you see, you all understand. Democrats need a seat. Really? You guys told us in New Mexico that Republicans, they don't have enough support. There isn't enough Republicans for Republicans to have a seat in New Mexico. Same thing. New Hampshire's BS. You don't even have to bring up New Hampshire. But New Jersey, Illinois. Keep in mind, Illinois, which was much closer than Utah was in 2024. Illinois was much closer to the swing state status than Utah, according to the 2024 election results. And for some stupid reason, these stupid judges, so coincidental, but at a time where Republicans certified the new district map in Texas. These judges, they suddenly say, well, Democrats need a seat. Well, I think I wouldn't be saying anything about it. Or I wouldn't be so suspicious. Or maybe I wouldn't be talking about it as much or projecting as much. I wouldn't say projecting, but making so seriousness about this. Concern, in other words. I wouldn't be so concerned if this wasn't during the 2025 redistricting war. Okay? Utah is saying, well, wait, we're not joining the state of the side of Democrats. No. You see, the judges, the courts, they rule that Democrats have to have a seat to align with the census results. Are you seriously saying, without saying, that New Mexico, Illinois, and New Jersey, New Hampshire, they got to redo their seats? Are you seriously trying to set that example? What about Rhode Island? Rhode Island. Now, let's give credit, though. Hang on. Rhode Island's a little difficult because every single county in Rhode Island is Democratic. But then again, let's be honest. You can make a gerrymandered map, giving Republicans a seat. I don't know if it'll work. Hey, I mean, I found this new site. It's called District R, okay, .org. Okay, a lot of people were like, okay, oh, well, I heard of this site. What's this site called? Blah, 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 blah. It's called districtr.org. And what this basically is it's a site promoting, I would say it's just more of an activist site, but it's basically a site where you get to where you get to design your own congressional maps, whether it be more partisan or more equal. This is where I made my New Hampshire map, and I've proven, except for one discontinuous comment, saying that it's not good, but I insist that it's a good map. I mean, hey, we're in it to win it. But I think I mean, it can be done. I proved it. It can be done. Here's your Democrat District 2, being solid Democrat. If not, that's actually 57% Democrat, 52% Republican. And this was made under the 2020 metric. So, of course, this is the worst as it gets, for the bluest it gets. And on a normal year, on a good day for Republicans in New Hampshire, it'd probably be like 56, 54, 55% Republican for District 1. So I proved it can happen. They said, oh, well, New Hampshire, it's just, you just have like a couple Republican counties, too many districts, or whatever. You can make it work. You made Illinois work. You made spaghetti all over Illinois. Come on. I mentioned Rhode Island. I'll use it as an example. And I say Rhode Island because Rhode Island is very similar to Utah. As you know, it had a similar 2024, similar numbers. I mean, but again, another example, Rhode Island, much more closer to a swing state than Utah is. Utah voted solid Republican, and Rhode Island voted likely Democratic. Not the same numbers, 55.54. And Democrats have every seat. I'm just saying, maybe you can make a district out of this. And how this really works is you want to make sure you get the ideal, make sure the population's meeting the line. And otherwise, the Democrats obviously will call bluff. But hey, if they can cheat in New Mexico. Democrats, we've learned in the past week, can be held into different standards and get away with it. So, I really doubt we're not, if we do redistricting in Rhode Island, which I really, 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 really 1% chance that that'll actually happen. Just to clarify, do not think at all that would happen. I'm just saying, if Democrats were transparent, which they're not, if we actually had a government of transparency, this could be a fair map. You see? And relatively, yeah, it's so far 55%. This is 2018 governor. These are outdated election results. But hey, 2018, 2020, same results, really. But yes, my goal, obviously... Whoops. But yeah, this is kind of what I would do in a state similar to Rhode Island. And you should try the best you can to get this all the way to 50, if you can. Which sometimes, hey, and who knows, I might be wrong. Maybe you can't gerrymander in Rhode Island. Maybe, hey, I was wrong. And that's what it could look like. As you have Providence up here. Whoops. Just give Democrats. So relatively, let's give them some benefit of the doubt with Rhode Island. I don't think it's enough to gerrymander Rhode Island. This still looks like a pretty liberal second district, unless I can be proven wrong. But yeah, 53%, so not as liberal. So maybe Rhode Island, hey, it's just that's how the climate is made. But let's be honest, we're talking about Salt Lake City, which isn't really a Democratic stronghold. Let's be honest, we're talking didn't we just review the 2024 Senate race? The county voted for John Curtis. Okay? And these people, out of everything, you want to make a district out of Slope County, or whatever it's called, or Grand County. Make these connect each other. Spaghetti string. Let's check out 2024 Utah governor race. Same results. The only difference is it's just right in your face how bad the GOP of Utah is. You got Phil Lyman running as an independent Republican, a write-in campaign. So he's not even on the ballot. And you got 13%, 200,000 Utahns writing this guy in because Spencer Cox is just that bad, that weak of a governor. I respect them. I applaud them for that. But yeah, despite that, Utah, Salt Lake City, yeah, still red. So I don't understand why you have to commit this to being blue. Presidential election standards, sure, yeah, it's Democrat. Agreed. But let's see how much it voted for Kamala Harris, even though that's not really going to matter. We're talking about a state this is a Senate race. Okay, we're talking about a state that's 59% Republican. And these dumb judges are saying, well, we need a seat for Democrats, even though it's not even 60% Democratic. And these Republicans, they said, oh, well, okay. No! This is a colluded effort. It's in your face. And if you are that dumb that you can't even recognize it, and you're that scared to challenge the court, oh, well, the judge is always right. Unless it's a Supreme Court, then Supreme Court's trying to attack democracy. If you're that dumb that you can't understand and cannot recognize what's going on here, It's either you are bought and sold, or you're just that ignorant. It's just that's how it goes. And, I mean, Republicans need to repeal this. This is absolutely insane. 2025 has proved that the judicial branch has totally taken over the presidency. Let's be honest. We are deporting illegal aliens. They're on their way to El Salvador, and the judge says, they must go back! They have to come back! It doesn't matter. No, El Brago Garcia is an illegal alien, not just an illegal alien, but he should be a convicted sex offender. He is. And the judge goes, he needs more due process! Not like he's already had enough. Another recent example, judge calls up Trump. Trump, you need to pay for the food stamps. You need to pay for SNAP benefits. Even though Democrats shut down the government, really, they should be paying for it. But no, Trump, you need to pay for it because it's your fault, Trump. For some reason, despite you being the executive branch, it's your fault. You gotta pay for it, Trump. Really? This is the United States of America, folks. These weak district court judges are trying... They are bought and sold for Democrats. We know this. They do this with Biden. They did not do this with Biden. In fact, they helped Biden. They covered up Biden. And once again, they're proving every single day, every single month, that they are aligned with the Democrats. Think about it. Democrats got a free seat that they don't even control in a state that they don't even control. They have zero representation in this state. Zero, none. They don't even have the legislature. They don't have the two chambers of the legislature. They don't have the governorship. They don't even have the down ballot offices, the executive offices. And they got a seat anyway. This shows that you got judges, nasty judges, that are willing to do the dirty work of the Democratic Party. Now, I do want to project, yes, we can still win this. Absolutely. But it's closing in. You got Republicans having a 4-seat advantage. This is why I'm saying to Democrats, hey, look, Democrats are getting all cocky, hee ha ha, we're going to win the House of Representatives, blue wave. We're leading you guys, dummies. Come on. We're leading you guys according to 270. We're leading you. And to be honest, I would actually suggest that there are some seats that should be tossed up on this map. And, hey, I think it's either Republicans challenge Utah, challenge that ruling, get District 1 back, or we take Indiana and we take Florida. Florida is more like a reality than Indiana. I'm telling you this straight out. Florida, we're likely to succeed with Florida than Indiana. Indiana is like the second worst state when it comes to Republican complacency. We just saw Republican complacency in Ohio. That is like the third state. But Indiana, let's be honest. You got a lot of weak Republicans running that state. That's RINO state number 2. And we had an example map. Republicans, they have an opportunity. They have an opportunity to take 2 seats in Indiana. Democrats, they chose not to play fair. They stole a seat from us using the judicial branch. In fact, they stole a seat from us twice, actually, with 3 times with Louisiana and Alabama. Hey, they're playing dirty. We get to play dirty back. We take Indiana 1 and Indiana 7. But I'm going to tell you right now that that's not going to happen. Because, unfortunately, I don't trust Governor Mike Braun. Maybe we'd get away with District 1, and maybe we'd get away with nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because that Indiana GOP is just that bad. So we are going to have to see, but I would not put your money on Indiana. I would put your money on Florida. Because unlike Indiana, you actually have good Republicans, a good GOP in Florida that knows how to play it rightly. And I would say that would make up for the loss in Utah. And then you'd be like, oh, it's just one seat, though. Well, with that mindset, we're going to lose every seat. Just saying. And it should enrage you that this seat was stolen by Democrats. How did they do it? They manipulated the courts. They manipulated the circuit courts and the district courts to give them a free state in a solid red state. That right there is a red flag, and you know it. And we expect better. So, hey, Republicans, if we are the party of common sense, we're the party that will stand up, then this is what we need to do. Florida 9, we can possibly flip Kathy Kastor's seat. Florida 20, Jared Moskowitz seat. And there you go. It looks like we've made up our margins. Hey, I mean, some say, oh, that's a little too much for one seat. Well, if you think of it that way, here's how I think of it. Democrats manipulated and weaponized the judicial system to take away a seat that didn't belong to them. And because they did that, they get more of a severe consequence. That is the concept of a sane GOP. But unfortunately, the Utah Republican Party and the Ohio Republican Party and maybe the Indiana Republican Party, they don't necessarily think of it that way. They said, Democrats, they can do whatever they want. They've had a rough year, even though I argue they have had a great year. Let's be honest. They had an amazing year. And we all know why. But no. No. Bullish excuses need to stop. We're putting our foot down. Democrats have crossed the line big time. Republicans didn't go into a blue state and manipulate the court to give us a free seat. We could do that with Illinois, and it would be justified because we're underrepresented in that state. The map of Utah was fair and was fairly drawn because it matched the registration at the time and it matched the election results. But Democrats manipulated the court to give them a free seat, and that's outrageous. That is outrageous. So the Democrats escalating the redistricting war, we will retaliate against the Democrats for escalating this conflict. They have fired the bullet back at us. We gotta fire back at them. There is no stopping this unless there is a compromise, some sort of agreement. But we cannot bend the knee to these people. We can't. They want to go around celebrate No King's Day. Maybe you should say it to your ego, Democrats. No King's Day. Are you protesting George Soros? The billionaire that you worship every time you vote Democrat? You give him money? Is that what you're protesting, Democrats? So anyway, Republicans, not a good month not a good month for Republicans, November. We're ending the year off in a bad start, but we can make a turnaround. We have a month and a half to go till 2026. We can make a turnaround. So anyway, what do you guys think in regards to this video? Let me know down below. And as always, I'll see you all in the next political episode.